Hi everyone, my name is Piterpakulski. Today we will continue building a financial model for a Uber Lyft taxi business idea, and today we will be adding a payroll to our model. So let's make our model a little bit more interesting and assume that in future we may have several cars. So this particular case that we are looking at, that we are modeling at the moment, describes only one car. But let's assume that we may have fleet of, let's say, 5 cars, and for that purpose we will need to add a payroll. So today we will be modeling the payroll. Maybe this video will be useful for you. You may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video, I will give you the link to the playlist where I will be keeping all these tutorials. And when I finish this model, I will place all the links in the description of this video as well, so you can watch absolutely free all the tutorials from scratch. Let's briefly run through what we did before during our previous tutorials. So blue is the color of all our inputs, all other cells are formulas. So we have the library of different types of trips. We can specify the mileage of these trips, duration of these trips, revenues for these trips. We can switch them on and off. We can add global and local coefficients for mileage, duration, revenues, to make us be able to play with scenario analysis using all these coefficients without playing with inputs themselves. So this will ease our life many steps ahead. Then we started with describing the typical week of our car. Here is the amount of trips that we make on Monday. This is the coefficients for this amount of trips. We can switch them on and off, different types of trips for scenario play. This is the story for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. So we're creating the portraits, the pictures of each day of the week in terms of revenues, duration, and so on. So then we focused on creating the interface where we are able to switch on and off different days from calculations to make us quickly be able to see what will be the revenues if we work, for example, from Monday till Friday, or we'll be working only Saturday and Sunday. This is the coefficient to amount of trips that we make per day. This is the we can set up the limits for daily mileage, and we can set up the daily time online when we are at work, to make us be able to live in the world of realistic numbers. So then we specify when we start operating activity, year and month. Then we describe how fast we are reaching the target revenues from the first month of operating activity, to make us be able to see the operating losses in the future. Then we start describing our car. So when we're going, the first parameter is the mileage on the odometer when we sell this car, when it becomes an old one. Then we specify the price of a new car, the price of the car with 300,000 miles on the odometer when we're going to sell it. So this is the price when we're selling the car. Then we specify the amount of down payment, interest rate, loan term, and here we can play with the type of financing of this car, own funds or loan. Then we move to periodic dealership maintenance. we have the coefficient for these costs. So here is the mileage on the odometer, we can specify it, and this is the cost of service at the dealership. And the same story, here we can see the months of the operating activity of the car, and here is the here are the costs of parts according to this month of operating activity of the car. So on the so these are the months of operating activity, these are the costs, so we can play here the way we want. And this is the coefficient for the parts costs for these values, so we can play not with these values themselves, we can be using just this coefficient for scenario analysis. This is a quick way to dive into the numbers. Then we may have some primary investment plan for the car. Here we specify what we are investing in, then we specify when we invest in and how much we invest. So this is the moment when we start operating activity, and this is how much we spend on this or that investment plan item. Then we start discussing fixed costs. So this is the typical year from January till December. These are the names of fixed costs. This is if they have some seasonality, we can put this seasonality inside this typical year horizon. We can we are adding local and global coefficients for these expenses, and we can switch them individually to see what will be the performance of the business, what will cash flow statement be like, what will simple discounted payback period will look like if we switch on and off different fixed costs items from calculations. Then we specify the price of gasoline, the miles per gallon, and get the gasoline expenses. Then we specify the rate of Uber commission or Lyft, and these are the commissions costs. And now let's add a payroll. So this will be a new block of inputs. So the payroll, let's say driver, let's say driver 1. For example, we may have three drivers for this one car, and this will be dollar per month values. So these are the salaries per month per driver. So these are the inputs, so I'm coloring these cells with blue. And now we need to put these values inside the timeline. So let's copy the header of this table. Here on the left we will place our drivers. And now let's place these payroll payments to the timeline. So I'm going up, so let's go completely to the top. let's find our timeline table. So this timeline table, and here we have a wonderful line, operating activity 011. This means that if we have 0, there is no operating activity at the moment. 1 means that we do have an operating activity at this given moment. So we are using this line. So as we can see here, 0, 0, 0, 0. In August we have 1, like August 23 is the first month of operating activity. So 1, 1, 1 starting from August. So I'm freezing the line here, then I'm pressing enter. So this is a very simple story. We are dragging this formula down and to the right.
So as we can see, the payroll starts in August, so we can color these lines with red because they will go to the cash flow statement. If I want to displace the project, so if I go up, if I would like to displace my project to November, for example, we can see November here. We can see November here. We can see costs starting from November. This is down payment for the car. So these are the costs for parts. The first dealership maintenance will occur on February. So November, before November we have investment plan. So we don't have to manually displace a lot of numbers here. So they're all linked to the moment when we start operating activity. Fixed cost starting from November. Gasoline cost starting from November. Commissions start from November. And payroll starts from November. So everything is linked to one point. So this makes our scenario modeling story very simple, and you can quickly create a huge amount of scenarios. So this was the story about the payroll. If you find this video valuable, you may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video, I will give you the link to the playlist where I will be keeping all these tutorials. And when I finish this model completely, I will give all the links in the description of this video as well, so you will be able to see or to watch all these videos for free from scratch. I hope you enjoyed. So thank you guys for watching. See you next videos. Thank you and bye.